What's up, brewskis? I'm sure that nothing looks amiss, and you have no questions.
Everyone listening is probably like, I have no idea what they're talking about.
Well, they'll hear it. They'll definitely hear
great.
it. It's not. I mean, it sounds good. It sounds.
Oh,
it sounds
they'll
fine.
tell.
It sounds fine, but
Okay.
there's definitely a hollowness to it, an echo.
Slight echo.
This one coming down, and now what? Go on now.
There are multiple dogs hanging out.
We're in the gulag, and we're recording live from dying in. No way.
What happened?
What was that? Yeah.
Yeah,
we literally just started.
Perfect timing.
Should we start over or just keep
Just
going?
keep it.
Okay.
Just keep it,
We're
yeah.
just gonna keep on rolling.
It's in the spirit of the show.
So, what's on tap for tonight? No. I'm sorry. So I noticed in the past couple of episodes, I kind of had, I had a flow, and it's kind of been broken
Okay.
because I've just been, in my head a little bit about it.
Well, it's been new, too,
Yeah. So let's rewind a little bit.
Okay.
What's up, brewskis? How we doing?
Mm-hmm.
Doing okay?
Yeah.
Yada, yada. Tonight's brew is from Rogue Brewing. We're bringing it back to Rogue. We haven't had one from these guys in a while.
That's exactly why I chose it.
And it is the Batsquatch. Batsquatch Hazy IPA. Clocking in at, I think, a 6.7.
6.7. Yep.
What's on tap for tonight? We'll obviously explain what's going on.
Yeah.
Also, for some reason, we're at a place where the pandemic is over.
Maybe. It is in Florida.
Apparently. And so, people are returning to their offices, and people are obviously here. I mean, it's not like it ever
Really happened in the first place.
So,
Yeah.
but there was still a lot of people taking a lot of precautions, yourself being one of them.
Yeah. I'm being sarcastic, by the way. Don't knock us, YouTube.
Yeah,
Please.
right. It's not misinformation.
No, we're not doing that.
So, we'll get into a little bit of like how do we get back to
The swing of things, really.
really, yeah.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, Oscar nominations. That's always fun.
Cap it off with good old Hollywood.
Good old Hollywood.
Yes.
All that and maybe more. But let's just get rolling into this. This is episode 341 of the One Beer In podcast. Yeah, buddy. Cheers.
Whoop. You have to take a sip first. Come on.
Mm-hmm, of course. That is a hazy IPA.
Batty. She sounds like a train.
I know. Just thundering down the stairs. That's fine. It's all going to be a part of it. It's all going to be a part of it. Well, you guys can't be seen, but
Your presence
because
is
the
felt
camera's this
nonetheless.
way. Now, I was keeping it open to keep an eye on him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, this is the One Beer In podcast, the podcast where two brews crack open a brew, see where that one brew takes us. We are recording live from my garage.
The dungeon.
Dungeon family. And the change in location. Long story short, the greatest gentleman, my Bo Biggins, my guy, my dog.
Frequent star of whenever the camera dies or we don't record.
That's right.
As seen on this podcast Instagram.
Yes. He's not feeling too well. So we decided to change scenery just for this week. Make sure, keep an eye on him and whatnot. I can see him from here. He's just standing around, not doing much, as is everyone.
Yeah.
But better safe than sorry, right?
Sure.
So that is why it looks the way that it looks. Which actually, I mean, I'm not entirely mad at it.
No, I kind of like it.
Yeah.
Gives us a little bit more, dynamic presence.
Uh-huh.
We're in front of this, gray slate, but it's a bit bigger than our usual studio area.
Yeah. Camera's back a little further, so it kind of gives it a,
Yeah.
Excuse me. There's more to
More
do.
to take in.
Yeah. We could really zhuzh up the place.
We could.
Behind us.
Let us know what you guys think.
Yeah. So, anyway, let's just get right into this. We're in this weird place right now, right? With society, with Florida, with COVID, with it. I mean, there's no real. I don't want to spend,
Sure. We've done this show a lot.
Yeah. We've tread this ground. We've swam in these waters.
Yeah.
So there's no reason to retread all of that. But the reason we bring it up now is because there's a lot of places that are really starting to. I heard at my job I was overhearing people. I'm overhearing people talk all the time. It's just the nature of the business.
Job, yeah.
And I was listening to these women talk, and she was like, "Now that the pandemic's over, we can blah blah blah." And I was like, "It's weird," because it's first of all, I mean, let's just get it out. Let's just get all the messy stuff out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
It's not over.
No,
people are still dying. Still, like 65% of the country is not vaccinated.
Fortunately, the numbers are going down, infection rates.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah, it's not all doom and gloom, and I'm not trying to like scare people or whatever. People have made their choices, and so that's pretty much where we are now.
Yeah.
People have made their choices, and this is kind of like what we're living in right now.
This is what it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But to make this proclamation that it's over is still very strange to me, because what has been done that would make somebody believe that it's just over now?
They got tired of it. just like everyone was saying it was over, right before Omicron happened.
Yeah, hold on. You keep talking. My gain's just way up.
Okay.
Yada 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 yada.
But yeah.
Yada
Yeah,
yada
I feel
yada
like
yada yada yada.
a lot of people.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
A lot of people wanted to believe it was over a long time ago. So at any chance they get with any positive news about it, they're going to jump on it and say, we don't got to worry about it anymore.
Yeah, people just want it to be over.
Sure, who
So
doesn't?
Yeah, I mean, of course.
Everyone does.
Yeah. I think that's the common misconception about people who are like pushing for the vaccines and pushing for mandates and stuff like that, is that those people just want this shit to go on forever.
Well, they just want to control you, Marco.
Yeah. Apparently.
Yeah.
There we go. Sorry, messing with the electronics, making sure that the ship stays afloat.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really interesting to hear people. There's a lot of people with that attitude of just like, it's over now because I'm out and I'm doing stuff and stuff's being done.
Right.
And people are having a good time.
They're starting to remove mask mandates for schools in some places where that existed in the first place.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's kind of slowly but surely happening.
Yeah, and I mean, if the hospitalizations and the deaths go down, I mean, regardless of how we get there, because of the choices that people made and the choices that the federal government has made and like how we've handled this whole thing, regardless, at this point, if people just stop dying and stop getting sick, I mean, not to say that I don't care, but it's like, as long as we get there.
Sure.
At this point, I'm like, if we just got to claw our way to the finish line,
Right.
then let's just do that at this point.
That's what it feels like it's going to be, because again, I don't feel like people who haven't been vaccinated thus far are going to get vaccinated.
No.
So
that ship has sailed.
Yeah. So they're either going to just not get it by chance, or they're going to get it and get antibodies. Mm-hmm. Hopefully that doesn't mean that they're going to make a new variant like Omicron happened. Mm-hmm. But
what do you mean? Man-made new variant? Is that what you're talking about?
I mean, technically, because, people aren't getting vaccinated and the disease is continuing to spread and mutate. So
yeah, I guess technically it is.
It's some guy technically kind of made it. Wuhan, China. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I mean, I don't know. I feel hopeful again. We're back to hope at this point.
Is that where we are?
That's where I'm getting.
Okay.
Maybe I'm not there quite yet. I mean, I'm still wearing my mask. I'm still, not going out as much as I would have in the before times. But yeah. I think there's at least a minimal amount of fleeting anxiety in what that I feel when I go out.
Yeah.
Now, as opposed to an oppressive anxiety that was there before.
Yeah.
So
I mean, my job, I've been out and interfacing with people all the time. I mean, my job is 80% small talk with people. So
face to face.
Unfortunately, I have to see so many faces. No, I'm kidding. I love your faces, most of them. But for you, it's been really. I mean, you've had the traditional like office job thing that people imagine when they think about how people have been working in the pandemic, which is, remote, a lot of Zoom meetings, a lot of Microsoft Teams, shit like that.
Yep.
And that's slowly but surely coming to an end for you.
Yeah, it seems to be that way. We were supposed to be back this year, like the start of the year, back in the office 3 times a week was the plan. But then Omicron happened and we decided against that, which I personally am fine with. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I hate to be like a hermit, but I don't want to go back to the office. I really don't. There are some people out there that are like, no, I can't wait to be back in the office, rubbing elbows with everyone and saying hi to everyone's faces and making small talk and yabba da dabba da do. I don't miss it.
You work with Fred Flintstone?
Yes. They pull the dinosaur at the end of the day and it whistles.
He slides down the thing.
Yeah, I don't miss the environment. I mean, I miss my coworkers, some of them. But like barring a like creative group meeting that we're all bouncing ideas off of each other, I don't see the need.
Yeah.
I frankly don't see the need to be like face to face in the same office space for 9 hours a day. It feels like, I feel like, I've taken the right pill, man, and my brain has expanded beyond the 9 to 5 in the office. I can't go back. I just can't go back because like now I know there is a way to do this from home.
Yeah.
In which I save time and money, gas, wear and tear on my car, anxiety from being stuck in traffic for hours at end. Like all this can be avoided. Mm-hmm. All of it. Mm-hmm. It's all unnecessary. And I feel like I'm going to be entering the in-office workplace with a chip on my shoulder. Yeah. And I'm afraid of going in and just being pissed off the entire time. Mm-hmm. I have a feeling once I'm there and people are saying hi and et cetera, it'll be fine. And I'll
grab their face.
Yeah, shut up.
Is it a good morning?
I'm wearing pants. Yeah. So I really am I really do have an anxiety around it because I do feel like I'm going to enter into it with a like bad mentality. Mm-hmm. And I am not going to be able to do it anymore. And I'm going to need to like find a way to be work from home, Mm-hmm. Like I'm afraid of not being able to interface in that way, like to just physically and mentally and emotionally be unable to do that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's tough for like, I can't speak for the people at your job, obviously, but the office job that I had, I'll speak as freely and as ill as I want to, because fuck that place. We worked from home. They let us work from home for a couple of, this was like full blown, like pandemic.
Yeah.
This was like, people still didn't know, like, people still didn't have any as much information on it. We were still going off of you get COVID, you quarantine for 2 weeks, you get that negative test, you're good. Now you got the antibodies and you're fucking invincible. And we're going to get the, like fucking chicken pox. We were all just going to get the antibodies.
Right.
And this shit was going to be over in like 3 weeks.
Sure.
So we were in that stage of it.
Yeah. Pre-vaccine, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah. And we're working from home, and productivity doesn't go down. Numbers stay where they were. I'm on time.
Right.
Because just logged into the computer at the right time and did my job. Literally no reason to go back. I actually had, I wouldn't call it an argument, but it was definitely the straw that broke the camel's back for me at that job, when I had a discussion with one of the people in HR, where I was just like, they called me and they told me that they want me back in the office, and I was just like, respectfully, why?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why do I need to come back?
Yeah.
And they were like, well, the remote thing was only a limited time, and it was just so that, everybody can feel safer, because like a bunch of people got COVID at my office.
Right.
This was also avoidable.
Sure.
But, neither here nor there. And so a bunch of people got it, so they kind of had to shut down. Mm-hmm. And at that point, they were like, well, fuck it, let's just let everybody who chooses to work from home work from home.
Right.
And they gave us a couple of, I'd say like a month or so to do it. And I was just like, I'm probably not going to go back. If they give me the choice to never come back, I'll never go back. And if they don't give me the choice, I'm definitely going to push back and be like, why?
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I did. And she and her response was, it was only a limited time, and we want everybody back in the office. And I pushed back on that, and I was just like, I just don't see why.
Right.
Like, what's the point? And you know what this bitch told me? Well, I mean, there's a lot of like physical paperwork that gets done, and I was like, no, there isn't. Everything, literally everything gets done through emails. And she was like, well, there's stuff that still needs to get faxed from person to person. And I was like, are you serious? I have to come back to the office
because somebody's still using fax
and rub shoulders with everybody,
right? Because
X amount of people haven't stepped into the 21st century, and I have to fax paperwork. That's what you're telling me? I have to show up. I have to, it was crazy. I don't even think she was convinced of the words coming out of her mouth.
Of course not. I mean, I'm sure that's the case across the board for the majority of people who are having to go back now, who were remote. I think the vast majority of people don't have a good enough excuse, but are just saying something.
Because there isn't a good excuse. Look at this guy. Look at this fucking guy.
It's Franklin.
See, this is the kind of content you get when you watch the YouTube. And you don't just listen. You don't just go on SoundCloud or whatever. You get to actually see one of the guys.
Mm-hmm. It's the one that you chucked in the air that one time.
Yeah, he wants to go to you.
Oh, come on, buddy. Come on, make the leap.
Nice.
Work with me. Work with me. Thank you.
Yeah, so at that point I could tell the conversation wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm coming back to the office to fax paperwork. So at that point I was like, all right, well, in my head I was like, well, I'm going to start looking for another job, because this is what are you doing?
He was sliding on my pants. He had no traction.
All right, man, you gotta go. Yeah, so that was like full. That was like in the middle of the pandemic,
right?
When they were just like, yeah, I mean, it's safe to come back, and I was like, I disagree.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Like, if we have to put up plexiglass between offices, everyone's wearing a mask the entire day. So I'm sitting at my desk wearing a mask,
right?
And it's just like, why are we taking these precautions when I could just be at home?
Sure,
dog. Working from home was the best.
Yeah.
Sweatpants all day. I literally just rolled out of bed.
Right.
Rolled into the bathroom, you know, got myself together as much as I needed to like, you know, be awake.
Yeah.
Rolled back out into the fucking, and like I had my setup, and I was like, this is perfect.
Yeah.
Go downstairs, make some coffee, make some breakfast. I'm chilling.
Yeah.
I just don't understand people like these. I know for a fact that we're gonna find out there's gonna be all these like articles and statistics about like productivity and workplace happiness and morale and all this shit where it was like, yeah, you just let people work from home and they feel better, they work better.
I mean, people are seeing as people are being forced to go back, how many people are just saying no and they're quitting and finding positions that are remote only. I'm sure we sound like big babies compared to, you know, people who do have to go in and be in like highly risky scenarios, like, you know, doctors and nurses and stuff like that. You know, military, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, but you chose that.
Sure.
I'm not like, I see what you're saying. But you know, I've worked in offices. I'm working at a bar now.
Right.
I've worked in all of those different environments where people would be like forced to come back. So, yes, you can look at it and go like, "Oh, you're so privileged" and all this stuff. We're not really talking about the fact that, like, we're not whining about having to work or having to go back to an office. Obviously, all of these things that we talk about when it comes to this type of shit, it's all relative.
Sure.
So I wouldn't go to the garbage man and be like, you know how hard my life is, bro? Like, obviously not.
Yeah, right.
So we're just talking about relative to each working environment.
Yeah.
You just literally don't have to go back to the office.
Well, and that's the main thing. I think that's the crux of this entire thing is like, it is what you choose to do. And then also a layer of realizing what you're being forced to do is completely unnecessary and actually counterproductive.
Yeah.
Ultimately.
Yeah.
So, you know, why am I being forced to go out of my pocket to pay for the privilege of having to get up, you know, get outside presentable, drive my car, have a working car that I trust to make it on the highway to get there, pay for gas and all of that, to have the privilege of sitting in an office space for 9 hours a day with you.
Yeah.
You know, and like not having autonomy over my literal physical body.
Yeah.
Because I have to be in the office from this time to this time because you say so, and that's it.
That's it.
Literally the only reason why. It's not because I physically, literally need to do a physical job there.
Yeah.
That's not the reason why.
Yeah.
Like, let's stop with the facade. That's not why. So I have to take, it's a large pill to swallow. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it is.
So, yeah. And again, like you were saying, it's about what I have chosen to do. I didn't choose to put myself at risk of the pandemic.
Yeah.
Especially somebody that's high risk. So, yeah, I mean, I understand the frustrations out there of a lot of people.
Yeah.
In that same position. So,
well, I mean, and if your response to all of this is, you know, just be happy you have a job, it's like, well, just don't listen. I don't, because like, what's the point of even having a conversation? That shit pisses me off, man.
Yeah.
It's just like, what's the point of even talking to, like, we're just not allowed to complain anymore because the next person is like, hey man, just be grateful for what you got. Well, yeah, duh.
Sure. That goes without saying.
Yeah.
Though. You understand? Like we are very privileged and we realize it, and we're very happy that we have a living.
Yeah, man, we're sitting here with like fucking 2 laptops in front of us with microphones and
we
lights
waste
and
money
cameras.
on lights
to
talk to you.
Yeah. We're up like
So,
we know.
We know. Okay? So
Now it just sounds like we're projecting.
shut up.
Like we like now it sounds like the guilt of some, like a conversation
Shut
we
up.
haven't even had.
No, but we realize the place of privilege of which we are speaking from.
Check your
And-
privilege, bro.
Yeah, of course.
Check your privilege.
But at the same time, stuff can still suck. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Speaking of stuff still sucking, I mean, like you.
Whoa. Hi-yo.
You know, you've been, like you said, you've been pretty careful throughout this whole thing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying as good as I can.
Now starting to kind of get a little bit more social
Right.
because, and
Pandemic's over.
the pandemic's over. So.
Yeah.
And you were saying that, like, you feel like it's like if you haven't practiced, if you haven't shot a basketball in a while, or if you haven't practiced on piano, the one thing that like the skills that you can forget,
Right.
that you start to forget them.
Yeah.
And like social skills.
Oh, yeah.
Is a thing that people don't really understand is, if you don't talk to people for a while and then like you just get thrown into a social situation, it's like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it's not just people. It's people you don't ordinarily talk to every day. Mm-hmm. So for instance, I was hanging out with Juan, friend of the show.
Shout out.
And also our former coworker, Reggie, friend of Juan and friend of me. Not friend of the show.
Not yet.
No. We judge him for that. But we decided to go out and, grab a couple beers and something to eat over at Aruga's nearby. Aruga, Bahama.
Ooh, I wanna.
And honestly, for me, it was kind of rough.
Yeah.
Because I'm totally comfortable with Juan, because he's a friend I talk to often. But Reggie's somebody I hadn't talked to in a while, and I hadn't seen him face to face in forever. So I realized like instantly how bad I am at being social now. And I was already bad before, don't get me wrong. Like it was already like I had like one tick on my RPG meter, and the rest in charm. But I just realized how out of social shape I am. I mean, shape in general, but social especially. Like I don't know how you feel about this, because I feel like you have a clear advantage in having to be social for work.
Yeah.
But man, like I couldn't think of like what to talk about. I got all like stiff and clammy, and eventually I was able like to smooth my way like into conversation and stuff, but I just felt so out of sorts. Yeah. I didn't know what to do with myself. So yeah, I like, how do you deal with that?
It's weird. It's weird because with all of this going on, sometimes you just like lose the energy to even try to small talk. You're just like, what are we even talking about?
And the thing is too, like I got so in my head about it too. Like I started thinking like, what do I say next? Like while he's talking to me, I'm kind of listening, but at the same time, just like, okay, what's coming? And just like waiting for my side to my turn to talk. I'm like, man, this sucks. Yeah. This feels like middle school over again.
That's not good active listening, Adam.
I know. And I recognized it at the time, but I was powerless to change it. Like, I don't know.
You're so nervous.
I was so nervous about it, about not being weird and making a good impression on a friend. Yeah. Like, I know this guy. It's not like it's somebody I'm meeting for the first time. And I don't know. I started panicking a little bit.
Yeah.
Again, like it smoothed out over time, and the more we talked, the easier it was, and we had a good time. It was great. But early,
that's really it, though, right? I mean, I have an advantage in that regard because I have to just talk to strangers all the time,
right?
And sometimes, and I have an easy out too, because like if conversation starts to mull or get weird or dull, I can just be like, all right, I gotta go clean this thing up and just walk away from it,
right? And you're generally making them happy by bringing them something that they want,
right?
Right. Hopefully,
yeah. Well, usually, unless we can't find something, unless people come in and they're like, I only drink this kind of beer. Do you have that? No. Do you have anything like that? Sort of. And then they go through all the beer and they don't like any of it, and then they're just like, this sucked. And I was like, okay, cool.
Sorry.
I've had that happen a couple times.
Interesting.
So, you can't make everybody happy. Customer's not always right.
What's the rarest kind of beer that you've had to like try to track down, or most like out of the ordinary?
It's usually like when people come in and you know, something that they've had specifically at another brewery or somewhere like out of state where they're like, someone else told them that Red Light is the place to go to get stuff like that. So they automatically assume we have literally everything. And then when we tell them like, yeah, we don't have that, they're just like, oh man, I mean, I can't find it anywhere. And I'm like, yeah, you can't find it.
Sorry.
Because we ain't got it.
We'd have it if we could.
And it's just, it's usually shit like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Some people just come in and they, it's gonna be a whole nother
rag on them.
It's gonna be a whole nother episode. Some people just bother me. They just, they come in and they look at the cooler and they're just like, it's all right. And I'm like, dude, there's like 100 beers here.
It's these.
It's like, where else are you gonna go to get this kind of selection of beer? There's nowhere else. There's nowhere else in Orlando, Florida.
Have you been to the world of beer?
Yeah. That's the other thing is people will come in asking about like, adjunct stuff or like stuff that you could get at, fucking ale house. And I'm just like, yeah, we don't have Goose Island IPA. I'm sorry.
Right.
We have Highlight right now, but we're about to, once we're out of that, we're not going to carry that anymore. So it's it's shit like that where people are like, this is a beer place, how can you not have Highlight? And I'm like, well, I mean, you could get Highlight at the gas station
anywhere. Fortunately.
Yeah.
I will say, sir,
Say
I had Highlight on draft at that same meeting of the minds. I hadn't had it on draft in a long time. Way better than canned, in my opinion. The flavor just it tastes better. I don't know why. I can't quite describe it, but it just seems more like full or something. I like more juicy or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Not sure if I've gotten some stale cans or something, but I mean, recommend it.
I can see it. I mean, Highlight is still. I don't care if we drink, 1,000 beers. Highlight's still good.
It really is.
It's still good.
It really is. But yeah, no, I was gonna say that is true. There's a weird, like, craft but everywhere kind of beer that isn't in like a place like Red Light.
What, Highlight?
Oh no, well, like Goose Island for instance, like you were saying,
stuff like that.
Yeah, or it's not really craft, but like a Blue Moon,
Dude, I cannot. I think Blue Moon is under the table one of the most popular, most sought after kinds of beer that I personally have heard working at Red Light. I've been at Red Light for about a year now, and I swear to you that's the one that people will ask about the most.
I think it's because it's the only like mainstream beer that tastes a little different.
Yeah.
That they're like, okay, if I don't want a Bud Light, I'm going to get a Blue Moon because it has a little slightly different taste.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. It's the one, it's like a notch above what they would usually drink. And they're like, if I'm going to get a little dangerous.
Let's go crazy.
And have a Blue Moon.
You got an orange slice?
Yeah, man. I can't tell you how many times people are like, do you have anything like Blue Moon? And I'm like, yeah, I guess. Just try anything else. Just try other stuff.
Yeah.
People are so like, they're just so afraid to just try other stuff.
We were those people at one point.
That's true, but like that's when we were in our early 20s. These are grown-ass men and women who are like,
we've been blessed.
I mean, I appreciate the people who will just be like, because I'll sometimes tell them, like they'll pick something and I'm just like, that's a little off the beaten path.
Yeah.
You want a taste of that? And they're like, well, I'll just go with it. I'm like, okay. And sometimes they'll be like, yeah, this is perfect. And then sometimes I can see their face and I'm like, man, I told you. And the people that I appreciate the most are the people who are like either, I'm glad I did this so I know, or, I'm just trying new things.
Yeah.
Or if they don't like it, they're like, I mean, I picked it. I didn't taste it. I'll pay for it. It's not a big deal, but can you get me something else? Yeah, totally, man.
Yeah.
It's the people who are like, I don't like this. and they just
slide it up.
is there any way that I could switch this out? And it's like, yeah, totally.
No problem.
Yeah.
No problem.
People just don't. I mean, they just don't get it. Sometimes some people are just don't. They just don't get it. They just don't understand. And we've talked about it in the past. Everyone should have to work a service job or an industry job. Like you should have to work it for. It should be like Israel when they have to do like 2 years.
You get drafted.
Like you just
got to work at an Applebee's for a year.
It doesn't matter if you have your fucking master's degree. You have to work at one of these fast casual places.
You need a year of humbling.
Yeah, just so you understand. Like, and for a lot of people, it might not even give them any kind of humility. Maybe it'll make them go, you know what? I can handle it, but at least it'll give them some kind of perspective as to what you are asking of people and what you're doing to people.
Right.
Some people just don't. They just think like, look, I'm paying your bills.
Yeah.
You want this tip or not? Mm-hmm. I was like, bro, if the conversation is ever, you want this tip or not,
mm-hmm.
you can eat that.
Right.
I don't care if it's $100 bill.
Yeah.
If the conversation is ever, do you want this tip or not?
Yeah. I don't dance for you. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. So all that to say, I love my job and I love the people who come in every day.
Some of you.
No. There's the overwhelming majority is fantastic people. And to get back to the conversation at hand, it's easy to talk to a lot of people like that because they're willing participants in a conversation that usually centers around something that we can all kind of get behind. Mm-hmm. The small talk happens when it's people who like either you don't know that well or people who just kind of stumble in. But again, I have a cheat code because I have naturally like 5 or 6 different conversation starters. Where are you from? How'd you hear about us?
Right.
What are you doing tonight? Like, what's the plan? Mm-hmm. What kind of beer do you drink? Do you like this? Do blah, blah, blah. So I have all these things that can kind of get me there.
Right.
So it's cheating, honestly, for me. But it does work those muscles.
I was going to say, do you think that translates into you being more adept at that, like, I don't know, meeting a new person and
mm-hmm.
having to sit there and have a conversation with them?
Yeah, I think 1,000% because you have to, like, you just have to talk to all of these different people from all walks of life. And sometimes somebody will come in and you'll immediately tell that, like, there's nothing that we're going to agree on. This is a person that, like, is from could be from a different planet mm-hmm. than me. But you can find common ground, I think, with pretty much anybody.
Yeah.
You could find common ground with the worst person on the planet. There's just always going to be that, like, one thing that mm-hmm. you can agree on and have a conversation about. And the tricky part is doing that. And the tricky part is, like, honestly, man, I think the weirdest thing that is really hard for people to get over, but that we need to start getting over, is acknowledging the awkwardness. You know, it's hard for people because nobody wants to feel awkward, obviously, and nobody wants to acknowledge the awkwardness, and nobody wants to live in that thing. Sure. But I think the more that you are honest and the more that you acknowledge those things, like, the easier it becomes. So, like, having small talk with people, like, if you haven't been out of the house in a while, I mean, just being straight up and being like, look, man, like, I don't even really know what the fuck to talk about because I haven't left my house in 2 years.
Yeah.
All I've seen is what the internet has shown me.
Sure.
Like, this is really weird for me. I think more people would be set at ease if they knew that everybody else was feeling the same way. So when you need to end a conversation that has become awkward, you both can kind of look at each other and go, we know this is over, right? Like, there's nothing else to talk about.
Yeah. That was an old dating move of mine on, like, an awkward, if there's ever an awkward moment in a conversation while on a date, mm-hmm. you just observe it and you go, that was kind of weird, right?
Yeah.
And then you just move forward. Yeah. And you get a little laugh out of it. A little self-deprecating humor goes a long way.
Yeah.
Because then it levels you.
Yeah.
Usually, unless they're an asshole and they're like, yeah, it was. You suck.
You suck.
Which could happen. But
yeah, definitely could happen.
If you're vibing and on the same level, then, it makes a lot of sense. And I think that kind of works in any conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, humility goes a long way for most people.
And breaking the ice, I think, is important too.
Yeah. And that's a hard skill to master. Mm-hmm. It's I don't know, man. I mean, there's like far-reaching consequences that we don't know about, and but I'm not saying that like we don't know with the pandemic and with like how much it's really affecting people's brains and like how we're able to like interface with the world.
Sure. Yeah.
Children don't see faces. They see half a face, you
Yeah.
know, and like those skills that you would learn early on, like how to read emotions and stuff.
Yeah. Or missing a couple of years of school too.
Yeah. So they don't get any of that. So like you know, there's no telling in years to come how this is going to affect people. But I think in the short term, we can see in adults, like small talk was already hard enough and weird enough.
Yeah. Everyone was already on their phones the entire time already.
Yeah.
This is only added to that sort of digital only communication.
Yeah.
So
I think the pandemic it just lasted too long. You know, we were at a moment. There was a nice, good window of time where everybody was like learning new skills and like, you know, appreciating life.
Yeah,
and,
making
like,
sourdough.
Trees were growing back.
Yeah,
and like animals were returning. Like, it just seemed like the world was like hitting the reset button. And in that window of time, if like the vaccine had just came out of nowhere and they're like, everybody gets this, we'll get back to work in 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. Bing, bang, boom. They just give us an ingredients list.
Yeah.
And everybody feels cool about it.
Right.
We all take it. We all get back to work. I just cannot imagine what life would have been like if the pandemic ended in a year instead of this slow, like, funeral march to the finish line.
It's
you know,
crawl.
When everybody was appreciating what they had, people like, you know, I never knew what life would be like when I couldn't just go to the store, and grab, you know, a sandwich or whatever, and, like, see my friends,
checking in with people, like planning like group nights online on Zoom, like really taking time for each other. Yeah. And now we've just
like slowly trudged back to just like, fuck you, buddy.
Even worse than before.
Mm-hmm. That's humans. What are we going to do?
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see how things go with the pandemic. Hopefully coming to its final crawl.
Bitter end.
Bitter end, yeah. Revealing who the monsters really were inside. Yeah, it's like a Twilight Zone episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was you all along. You're the monster inside. All right. Well, you guys, small talk amongst yourselves. Last but not least, we have to, as we do when we can, talk about award show season, because we're getting, you know, I think we've already had the Golden Globes. Did the Emmy? We didn't have the Emmys yet.
No.
I don't know. I haven't really paid a lot of attention to the big award, like the, you know, they do the Screen Actors Guild and the Critics' Choice and blah 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 and all those, and you start to get a feel for, like, you know, who's gonna win Best Actor and blah blah blah. Haven't really paid attention to that, but we have the full list of the Oscar nominations because we're still doing this. You know, we're still, for some reason, we're still doing this. Yeah. They can't even find a host for the show because they're like,
that's right. Yeah. They haven't decided yet, right?
Yeah.
Yikes.
And they're at a point where they're like, is he going to be like an all remote show like the year before or the year before that? I can't remember. Mm-hmm. Speaking of, you know, pandemic and all that stuff, or are they just going to do, you know, somebody suggested Kermit the Frog and I was like, I'm fully on board with that.
Sure.
There's just
why not?
Yeah, you know, there's just like they're still doing this rigmarole where they're like trying to hit this target demo that they're never gonna hit.
Yeah.
You know, they're gonna have like Billie Eilish host, and she's gonna host with like Charlie Puth, or like,
okay,
I think that's his name. I don't
Sure.
know. Puth.
I think it's Booth.
And Zendaya, and like they're gonna do this thing, and it's like, do you really think that 18 to 30-year-olds are the ones who are like sitting down?
They're
going to
tune in at a specific time to watch TV as it's broadcast. Do you think that's going to happen?
Do you think that like that's what you're trying to? No, dude.
Yeah, they were talking Tom Holland and Zendaya. That's who people were saying they were thinking of having on.
I mean, that's fine. They'll probably do a good job. I mean, Tom Holland is charming enough, and so is Zendaya. But it's like, well, who is that for? Again, do you think the people who are fans of Tom Holland and Zendaya are going to be sitting down and watching the Oscars? The people, the Venn diagram.
The Zen
diagram.
Yes.
The Venn diagram of people who are fans of those two actors and also have seen every movie that's been nominated for an Oscar.
Yeah.
Very, very shallow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I just don't know why they don't just, either do. I think the show, I mean, obviously people like to see the speeches from people. They like the musical guests. Sometimes they'll try to do something funny or irreverent or entertaining, and you bring out Will Ferrell and let him do something. Or like, oh man, Kenneth Branagh, he's nominated for an Oscar, but he's on stage singing. That's hilarious and relatable and quirky. We love that.
Sure. Yeah.
They do stupid shit like that, and I guess that's what people look forward to. But I don't know. It just at this point, it's just like, why are we even still doing this? Just fucking mail the awards, honestly.
Yeah, or I don't know, just pre-record it and put it out in clips.
Yeah,
That's how people like, getting this kind of information anyway. Nowadays.
Yeah, you can still have the gala and everything and have people there, so you can have like a live crowd and everything. But why does it have to be broadcasted live?
People have to know right there and then. I mean, for some people, it's like their Super Bowl, so they make a party of it, and it's just an excuse to celebrate something, which I understand. We need every little thing we can possibly find to celebrate right now.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
I won't be a complete Grinch about this, but
yeah, I'm looking down my nose at people who like celebrate the Oscars while I'm gonna, watch the Super Bowl.
Right. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've never really made a thing of it. Even as a film guy, I will maybe flip the channels and just see what's on at the time, but I don't make like a day of it.
I used to.
Yeah.
I used to be, I full send, dude. I used to like watch the whole thing. We would make predictions. Like at the end of the year when the noms came out, we'd try to watch all of them so that we had like an accurate.
Yeah. I mean, that's fun. That's just a reason to watch movies, though.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
As far as the event itself goes, I don't really care who's hosting, what little skits they do.
Oh, yeah,
I don't care.
Yeah, the thing, yeah, no. I wanted to be right with my predictions.
If I could be faxed from your office, sir, an itemized, winners list, I'd take that happily,
Yeah.
I don't care about the pomp and circumstance, personally.
I do like the acceptance speeches. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me feel weird whenever they go over time.
Mm-hmm.
It never doesn't make me feel weird.
Just gives you a little bit of anxiety, or
it just makes me like it's that secondhand embarrassment when you know that they've heard the music and everybody's heard the music and they're still trying to get their thing out, and sometimes they're saying like something really sweet or something really heartfelt, and like some dickhead is
you
like,
hear a violin start playing.
I don't know how you could even be the guy who has to pull the trigger on that. And this guy's like, and my grandmother, she was always there for me, and to my wife and to my kids, and I love you all. Daddy's coming home. I thank you very much. Thank you to the Academy. All right, I love you guys. Okay.
Graphic. Yeah,
it's such a weird thing.
Yeah,
and that's the other reason why it being broadcasted in this time slot on network TV is so weird. It's a gala of like Hollywood elite.
Sure.
Giving each other awards, patting each other on the back for this thing. And then you're going to make it like a limited time, and you're going to and it's like it has to be done within like this 3-hour time period or it's a bust. I don't know, it's just so weird. It's a weird thing. Imagine being an actor and showing up and they're like, it's going to be from X to X time. And it's going to be fucking tight.
Yeah.
Because they're going to play these people off. They're going to give them the Apollo hook and just grab them.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, they do, I think, have like a teleprompter that shows the time they have left.
They do?
So, I thought so. I thought they have like a, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
If they don't, well, they should.
Yeah.
They should.
Sure.
I hope that they would. But
Yeah.
let me rephrase. If they do, and that many people go over time, it's kind of like the presidential debates when they're just like, fuck it, I'm going to keep talking.
I'm going to keep going. He will not get the last word. I'm sorry.
No, just make it short and sweet, man. Anybody, like Kanye West, when he won a Grammy, he just went up there and he was like, everybody, I'll never forget it. He says, everybody was wondering what I would do if I didn't win. Mm-hmm. I guess we'll never know.
Yeah.
It's a moment. It's short and sweet and concise, and it's a killer line, and it encapsulates everything about him that we loved. That's what you do.
Yeah.
You didn't go up there and thank everybody and their grandmother.
It's the perfect TikTok.
Oh, yeah, it's perfect. So, okay, we fluffed enough. Let's get into some of the nominees.
All right.
The
nominees are. We're going to skip these ones because they don't matter.
The best visual effects one is kind of interesting.
Yeah. So we have best visual effects: Dune, Free Guy, Shang-Chi, No Time to Die, and Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Free Guy got nominated for an Oscar.
Yeah, that's interesting, right?
Very interesting.
It's also interesting that Free Guy has an 80% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Apparently, it's not that bad.
I wouldn't have expected that. Yeah,
I heard from people who watched it. It's not that bad.
Never seen it, but maybe I should. Best Sound: Belfast, Dune, No Time to Die, The Power of the Dog, and West Side Story. Best Production Design: Dune, Nightmare Alley, The Power of the Dog, The Tragedy of Macbeth, and West Side Story. Best Original Song: Be Alive by Beyonce and Darius Scott for King Richard.
This is going to take too long.
Oruguitas by Lin-Manuel Miranda.
How do you not know how to say that?
I don't know the song. I saw the movie once. It didn't really make a big impression on me for Encanto. Down to Joy by Van Morrison. Boo. Belfast.
Boo.
No Time to Die, Billie Eilish and Phineas. And Somehow You Do by Diane Warren for 4 Good Days, a movie that got a 53% Rotten Tomatoes. Apparently. We'll keep going, okay?
Yeah, because I don't care about costume design and hairstyling. And
no offense if you've worked on those things. We appreciate them, but we need to hurry this up. Editing, Don't Look Up, Dune, King Richard, Power of the Dog, and Tick, Tick, Boom. Cinematography, Dune, Nightmare Alley, Power of the Dog, Tragedy of Macbeth, West Side Story. Don't know.
You're seeing a pattern here, are you not?
Best Animated, Encanto, Flea, Luca, The Mitchells vs. the Machines, and Raya the Last Dragon. Which I didn't realize was even up for like the award.
Yeah,
this year.
I thought it was too old too.
Yeah, seems like forever ago. Okay, screenplay.
Yeah, we gotta do screenplay.
Original screenplay: Belfast, Don't Look Up, Licorice Pizza, King Richard, and The Worst Person in the World. Adapted: you have Coda, Drive My Car, Dune, The Lost Daughter, and Power of the Dog.
Power of the Dog.
Power of the Dog. Supporting actress: Jessie Buckley for The Lost Daughter, Ariana DeBose for West Side Story, Judi Dench for Belfast, Kirsten Dunst for Power of the Dog, and Anjanou Ellis for King Richard. Best Supporting Actor. Oh, that's very Celtic. It looks like Ciaran, but that's not how you pronounce it, I'm sure. Hines.
It's probably a hard C.
Ciaran?
Like Cillian Murphy.
Sure, could be. Troy Coaster for Coda. Jesse Plemons for Power of the Dog. J.K. Simmons for Being the Ricardos. And Cody Smith-McPhee for Power of the Dog. Best Actress, Jessica Chastain for The Eyes of Tammy Faye. Olivia Colman for The Lost Daughter. Penelope Cruz for Parallel Mothers. Nicole Kidman for Being the Ricardos. And Kristen Stewart for Spencer. Best Actor, Javier Bardem for Being the Ricardos. Benedict Cumberbatch for The Power of the Dog. Andrew Garfield for Tick, Tick, Boom. Will Smith for King Richard. And Denzel Washington for The Tragedy of Macbeth. Then we have Best Director. We have Paul Thomas Anderson for Licorice Pizza. Licorice Pizza. Kenneth Branagh for Belfast. Jane Campion for The Power of the Dog. Good old Spielberg for West Side Story. And Ryusuke Hamaguchi for Drive My Car.
Nice.
Best Picture, we have Belfast, Coda, Don't Look Up, Drive My Car, Dune, King Richard, Licorice Pizza, Nightmare Alley, The Power of the Dog, and West Side Story.
Well, there you have it, folks. This has been the One Beer.
My throat is dry.
We've got some interesting nominees. Fun stuff we've got here.
Yeah.
Because, there's a lot of they went surprisingly mainstream with these movies. Like Drive My Car.
Not so mainstream to add Spider-Man, though.
Yeah.
Which some people were upset about. But as much as I loved Spider-Man, I loved the movie. I don't think it could have been improved very much at all. It's not an Oscar winner.
I don't think it deserves to be an Oscar nominated. It's not that good.
No,
it's a good movie. It's a great. People are like, it's got everything you want in a movie. It's got heart. It's got humor. It's got action.
Spider-Man.
It's like, it's. Sorry. It's not even like the best comic book movie. I don't know. I just the thing is, like, when you nominate a movie like Spider-Man, then you have to go back and you have to go you have to think like, who's that? I thought it was my dad. My dad did just call me, so you have to think about like the other movies in that genre that like didn't get nominated.
Sure.
Like how long, like Black Panther got nominated, and some people thought that was like a race thing, which I don't. I thought, but whatever. The Dark Knight, I don't remember. I remember it got nominated for like cinematography and like, but I don't. Did it get nominated?
Well,
for
actor
best?
too.
Well, yeah.
Actor
well,
won.
no, best supporting actor. It didn't get best actor.
That's right. Yeah.
But it didn't get nominated. It didn't like clean up.
No.
It didn't get the best director, best picture, best blah 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 blah.
No.
And Dark Knight is still, top 3. Some would say still the best.
Well, sure, but at the same time, I agree, and I understand where you're coming from with that. But at the same time, you can't continue to use that as a barometer when it's a different time and place.
Right. Yeah.
Once that glass ceiling has been broken for comic book movies to start winning real awards, it's gonna be far easier.
That's true. And then you can't look back and be like, how could they not have nominated this movie, but they nominate this movie?
Right.
Because it's like it's a different age. I get sure. All that being said, don't think Spider-Man was that good that it needs to be nominated for an Oscar for Best Picture of the Year.
I don't think so. But yeah, you're right. It is pretty mainstream as far as the overall look of this entire Best Picture list, especially.
Yeah, I'm sure that like some of these. I mean, Netflix is doing really well now. Netflix is getting those. I remember when Netflix was they were like making Oscar-worthy movies, and the Oscars were just like, no. Like, we're just not even gonna look at you.
Don't like it.
Again, it's another thing. Like, Idris Elba got snubbed for a nomination for the nation something.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking. You know what I'm talking about.
The Africa one, right?
Yeah.
Beast of No Nation.
Beast of No Nation.
Right?
Yeah. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And he got snubbed for what many people said was an Oscar-winning performance.
Yeah.
And it was just because the Academy was just like, we're not going to recognize streaming services. And now you fast forward to today, and like Don't Look Up, Power of the Dog are like just... And Licorice Pizza, isn't that...
No,
because that's a Wes Anderson movie.
King Richard was on streaming at the same time as it was in theaters, and so is Dune.
Yeah.
So you can kind of,
yeah.
halfway count those two.
But Power of the Dog, that's a straight up Netflix movie, and
Yeah.
same with Don't Look Up. So it's like, it's interesting where we are. And again, if you're going by the tomato meter,
No.
Don't Look Up has a 56%, and it got nominated for an Oscar.
I wonder what the lowest thermometer scoring Oscar-nominated movie would be.
That's got to be up there. That
Yeah.
has to be in the running for lowest score.
Yeah. I mean, specifically for Best Picture.
Yeah.
56%. That's pretty bad.
So I guess, to go back to the Spider-Man thing, if your argument is that movie got trashed by critics and then still nominated for an Oscar, and like Spider-Man didn't, but is in the 90s.
The Academy's not looking for a movie like Spider-Man, right? Like,
Of course not. But maybe that's the problem.
I guess. I mean, but then...
How do you judge the best movie of the year? Like, that the Academy is going after Oscar baity movies. That's why The Power of the Dog is nominated so many times.
Sure, yeah.
Even though I did think Power of the Dog was a good movie.
Yeah, it was very good. I agree.
But it's definitely like an Oscar bait. Just like, nominate me, please.
Yeah.
Dude, the minute those credits rolled, I thought, they're all getting nominated. They're all getting nominated. Yeah. And they did.
Yep. They sure did. Which actually, funny enough, Jesse Plemons and Kirsten Dunst, a couple, are both nominated.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. Good for them.
I hope none of them win, though.
Some hateful shit to say.
Nah. I hope Denzel gets his third. I want him to get 3. So I want him, up there with like the rest of these like Mount Rushmore guys. Because I mean, he's already up there. But if he can get that third one, he'll be in the the Jack Nicholson.
Sure.
I think Tom Hanks only has 2, but they're 2 best actors. Mm-hmm. He's got a best actor and a best supporting.
Right.
I'm trying to think of who else. I think Dustin Hoffman has multiple. Anthony Hopkins, I think, has been at least nominated multiple times. I know he has one for Silence of the Lambs. Mm-hmm. There's obviously older actors that I'm not even thinking of that
didn't he win last year too for that?
Oh yeah, he did.
Movie?
So he does have 2, at least 2.
Yeah,
that's right.
Uh-huh.
That's right, because he rolled out of bed and like gave his acceptance speech over a fucking cell phone.
Thanks.
Yeah, I don't know why you did this. Or
you've made me the bad guy.
I didn't ask for this.
I don't want it.
Or fucking Will Smith finally get his.
That would be interesting. I've heard a lot of good things about it, his performance in King Richard.
Yeah. So if Will can get his finally, that would be nice.
I mean, out of who we have, who do you think is actually going to get it? Javier Bardem, Benedict Cumberbatch, Andrew Garfield, Will Smith, and Denzel.
I think it's between Benedict Cumberbatch and Denzel. If I'm thinking about like the history of the Oscars and the press that those movies got, Benedict Cumberbatch plays a, spoiler alert, gay cowboy, but they never really like acknowledge it up front.
Highly repressed.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the movie's incredible.
And his performance is incredible.
It is. It really is. So, but Denzel's doing Shakespeare.
It's true.
And it's a Coen, well, not a Coen's brother movie, but it's one of the Coen brothers. Yeah. It's a Coen brother movie.
It's a Coen brother movie, yeah.
And they're saying he's lights out. Yeah. And it's Macbeth.
Sure.
It's like apparently like one of the hardest plays to do in the history of Shakespeare. And
I think that might work against him, though. I think because it's
too Oscar baity?
Well, not even that. I just think it is such well-worn ground. And it has that level of like familiarity, if you know theater and stuff like that.
If you know theater,
if you're a man of the theater, which I feel like a lot of the Academy is. I feel like they may look at that and be like, yeah, it's a great performance of Macbeth, but it's just a performance of Macbeth.
I don't know. Tell that to La La Land.
Well, that wasn't adapted. That was original, and it was all about Hollywood, which they love.
Yeah,
That's why I saw
smoke up their own asses.
I saw a parody. I think it was an Onion headline that said Wes Anderson says next movie will be about his love for the Academy because he was snubbed on this for everything basically.
Yeah.
For French Dispatch.
Yeah, I said Wes Anderson for that licorice pizza, but it was Paul Thomas Anderson.
The other Anderson.
I always get them confused.
The other good Anderson.
I get their names confused, but I don't get their movies confused. I love Wes Anderson. Yeah, he did. He got
snubbed.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Just
who'da thunk?
Nothing
Nothing at all.
So yeah, I think if I'm going with my gut, I think they're going to give it to Cumberbatch with the content of the movie.
I thought you said Garfield.
No.
You said Garfield or Denzel?
I misspoke. I meant Benedict Cumberbatch
okay.
or Denzel.
Yeah, my pick is probably Cumberbatch. I think his role is too juicy for them to not. Yeah. Though I do hear good things about everyone's performance. On all these.
It's a solid list.
Yeah.
Let's see. Best Actress. I just really want Kristen Stewart to win because apparently that movie's not that great, and she's like the only good thing in it, and it's like a weird not a weird performance, but like a weird dark movie that they did, and I just love that she's nominated. And I want to see Kristen Stewart win.
Yeah, I mean I haven't seen any of these movies actually.
Me neither.
Yeah, so I can't really speak to who probably will win.
Or Penelope Cruz, just to have a Latina win.
Sure. I like Olivia Colman in a lot of stuff too, so I wouldn't really be mad at really any.
Yeah, I like
any of them.
Jessica Chastain's awesome. So
sure, of course.
Nicole Kidman's great. So
yeah,
any of them could win, and I would be like, cool.
Yeah. Supporting actor.
I would like to see J.K. Simmons get another one. That would be fun.
Yes.
I think. All right, I don't think Jesse Plemons was that good in Power of the Dog.
Yeah.
I thought he's good, but his performance is so subdued.
Yeah. That's the role.
Maybe it's going over my head.
Yeah.
But I just don't think it was so subtle and so nuanced that it deserves an Oscar nomination. I thought he was good. I think Jesse Plemons is always good.
Sure.
But I just don't see the...
I think, personally, just as a Breaking Bad boy, as I know you are, I want to see him get, everything he can.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I also think that this role, he does something really tricky, which is not do a lot, but make you feel like there's a lot there, which I think is harder than it looks. So I wouldn't be mad at him getting it. Again, I haven't seen Belfast or Coda or Being the Ricardos, but yeah, it's funny because Power of the Dog actually has two actors on this supporting list. So the kid from the movie, Cody Smith McPhee, is actually on this list too.
I thought he was great.
Yeah.
So if he wins, I wouldn't be surprised. I thought he was great.
Yeah.
Best supporting actress. I'll tell you, I thought Kristen Dunst was great in Power of the Dog. I thought she was fantastic.
Yeah, she was.
Just everything that's thrown at her, like it's just like a tragic role, and the shit that she goes through. And like how she plays that, like I thought she was fantastic in it. I
have heard a lot of rumbling about Ingenue Ellis in King Richard.
Yeah.
So
same.
Everyone loves Judi Dench, of course. I don't.
Dame Judi Dench.
Jame
Judi Dench.
Yeah. I don't think they're gonna go her way this time. I haven't seen West Side Story, so I don't know, and I haven't seen The Lost Daughter. So.
Yeah,
speak much more to those.
You fucking, I don't know.
Any hooser. Let's get to the big boys here.
Yeah.
Best director. What do we think is going to happen here?
I think that one of two things is going to happen. I think Either Power of the Dog sweeps and does the like.
I could see that happening. But will they do that for a Netflix movie?
You're giving a lot of power to the streaming services, and you have to think like there is a political aspect to this.
Very much so.
So do you fucking shift the power from studios to, because if the movie sweeps, and it very well could,
Yeah.
that would be huge.
Yeah.
That would be a big moment, because they're already getting $1 million budgets to make these movies.
Yeah.
You get a movie that fucking cleans up at the Oscars, you got.
I mean, they already had a standout a couple years back. What's the name of that movie? I forget. The one in Mexico. It's like kind of self-referential of the director. I'll look it up.
Yeah, you do that.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think either that's going to happen, or they'll go the easy route and they just throw it to old Spielberg.
You think so?
I think I could see it. I could see Spielberg, because it's a Hollywood classic. It's a musical. It's Spielberg.
Right.
I think he's the safest, easiest choice.
Roma.
2018. Excuse me. I think. Okay, I made history. Hi, Frank. Despite losing what? Business Insider. They're going to make you pay for this.
We'll see about that.
Oh, The Green Knight got snubbed.
The Green Knight got completely snubbed, yeah.
I went and saw that in theaters and thought, there's no way that this doesn't get at least cinematography. It looks incredible.
Yeah.
I can't believe it didn't even get cinematography. That's a crime. It's a crime. Look, I know that it's like an easy movie to kind of shit on. Artsy fartsy,
sure.
A24 movie.
Not what people are expecting.
That's fine. You can levy whatever criticisms that you want. But if you're going to throw Macbeth a cinematography, I just don't see how Green Knight doesn't get one.
Sure.
That's crazy.
Also, I sit corrected. It didn't win. Roma didn't win Best Picture. It won Best Director, and it lost famously to Green Book.
Right.
Infamously,
and
I
that
should say.
was the weird thing, because it just doesn't. It's always weird when that happens. Mm-hmm. We're like, we'll give you director, but we're not going to give you the movie.
No. You just made it look good.
I mean, you're just the driving force behind why the movie was good.
Right.
But
And saying you're the best denotes that, the movie itself is probably the best, right?
But then again, there could be a movie better than the movie. Even though we're going to give you the award for being the best director of the year, there was a movie that was directed better.
Yeah. Sure.
It just doesn't make any sense. So I think, I don't think Paul Thomas Anderson gets it, because I just think there's a lot of controversy around the movie, and I just don't think that, it was good. I don't think that it was, like, people are saying it's, like, so good that it's, like, he's a clear cut.
Shoo-in.
Yeah.
Huh.
I think Power of the Dog gets it.
I think so,
I don't know
too.
I don't know if they do the clean sweep, but I think for sure she gets director.
I think so, too. Especially because this is like her return to form. Because, she had a lot of, like, buzz a long time ago. Stopped making movies for a bit and then came back with this one.
Yeah.
So, I agree. Now, finally, Best Picture. Who do we think gets it?
It's tough.
I'm happy that Nightmare Alley's up there.
Yeah.
I like seeing that. I hear really good things about West Side Story. I don't think it's going to get it. I love that Dune's up there. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's going to get it. I find it interesting that Drive My Car is up here so much.
I was just about to say, like, I think we're not taking into account the power of that movie. Mm-hmm. It's got a lot of good press. There's a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. I hate to say it, but there's a lot of white people up there for Best Director.
That's true.
And
all of them except for Ryusuke.
So we could be looking at the wrong movie here.
Could be. Well, fact of the matter is we haven't seen Drive My Car yet, so
it's hard to judge. Yeah,
we're speaking from a place of ignorance at all times.
Sorry, I thought I heard him being. Yeah. Did you say we're speaking from a place of ignorance at all times?
No, I didn't say that. I would never say that. Yeah, I don't know. I have a really good feeling about Power of the Dog here. I'm not just saying that because I've seen it. I just feel like it feels like such an Oscar-winning movie.
It fits the mold.
Yeah.
It does. It really does. It fits the mold of a movie that's just like gonna sweep.
King Richard, I've heard great things about, but he's like not a first-time director, but a very young director. Mm-hmm. I feel like they're not going to give it to him yet, or give the movie that nod yet.
Yeah, and that's one of those I wouldn't say feel-good movies, but it's like a
formulaic.
Yeah. I think they rise above the formula, and there's like a lot of good performances, but at the same time, it's still like
it's a sports movie.
Yeah.
West Side Story, I feel like just because, you're in the shadow of the original at all times. I don't think it stands a chance.
It's tough. I'll just say for the record, don't understand why he even made West Side Story.
I don't either. I mean, it's interesting. You're seeing like an aging director maybe go back to his roots a little bit.
I have zero interest in a remake of West Side Story. I have zero interest in a remake of pretty much any of those movies. They're all classics for a reason. They're movies that are... I mean, I know that we're in the era of remakes and yada yada, so I'm not going to sit here and like wax poetic on that stuff. But it just seems like some of these movies are like... You're not going to be able to improve on these movies. So, like, why are you even... In fact, there's no way that movie's better than the original.
I've heard it is, though. I've heard from some people they do improve a lot of what was there originally.
Yeah, well, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm an idiot.
well, no. I mean, I am 100% with you, except for the fact that you're working with Spielberg.
Yeah.
You kind of trust him implicitly, even though he's had a few, stumbles here and there.
But he's still a GOAT. So he still deserves your trust whenever he takes on a project.
Sure.
But I would love him to just do an original project.
Well, he will be. His next movie is sort of again, like an autobiographical story about his childhood. So that's getting a lot of buzz already. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's interesting to see what this next phase of his career is going to be, because it feels like he's kind of going back. Mm-hmm. Like maybe he saw West Side Story as a kid, liked it. Saw ways it could be better, something in the modern time. They more clearly talk about race and stuff and make that obviously like money the main factor here.
They're gonna go back and do them all, man.
Probably.
They're gonna go back and they're gonna redo Godfather and Guys and Dolls. They're gonna go back and do Streetcar Named Desire.
You can't remake Godfather.
I bet they do. If we do this podcast long enough, another 10 years from now,
we'll live to see the day.
I guarantee you they go back and just rework it all, because it's just they just can't help themselves.
Yeah.
If they're doing West Side Story, it's like, let me say this: I'm putting this prediction out there. I am 100% convinced that they will do something like Streetcar Named Desire or what is that movie that Audrey Hepburn won?
Breakfast at Tiffany's?
Not Breakfast at Tiffany's. They will not do that one. They're not going to touch that unless they want to acknowledge old Mick Roon. No, Egyptian Queen, I think. The one where they're on the boat. I don't know.
Was that Audrey Hepburn?
Or was it Katharine Hepburn?
Let's see. African Queen, right?
African Queen. The African Queen, 1951. Was it Katharine Hepburn?
Yep, Katharine Hepburn.
Yeah, okay.
Old Humphrey Bogart.
Humphrey Bogart won an Oscar for this.
Mm-hmm.
He won Best Actor. So I think for sure they do African Queen, Streetcar Named Desire, Rebel Without a Cause. They go back and hit those movies. Okay. Maybe not Godfather, because it's still one of those movies. Like, you can't do stuff like that or like Taxi Driver or something like that, because, they're like these singular visions of like that director or whatever. But
It's like
the older
remaking Jaws.
But the further we get from those source materials, the easier it is to just be like, what if we just what if
Did
there's
it now?
You know, like if you get one of these like tortured, tragic, artisty type actors, to commit to one of these movies, you know, a young up and coming guy, good looking, you get like Timothée Chalamet to do Rebel Without a Cause. Come on.
Sure. I'd be surprised.
You telling me that wouldn't happen?
I'd be surprised if that wasn't already like,
somebody has suggested
attempted
that.
or
There's no way an exec has not at least brought that up in a meeting.
Right.
Like, hey man, he could be the new Brando. Young, handsome, talented. Let's get him in these like tough guy roles. Start like beefing him up a bit.
Yeah.
I could see it.
Okay.
I could see it.
Well, from what I hear, West Side Story is the rare exception that it actually improves upon the classic original.
Blasphemy.
Yeah. We'll see. I want to watch it.
Well, let's, in the meantime, try to watch all these movies, or as many as we can.
Yeah.
And then maybe we'll have a fuller picture. Either way, we'll check back in when they decide if they want to go with Kermit the Frog or Timothée Chalamet.
Why not both?
Why not both?
It's a beautiful combination.
And I, lovely. It would work.
Only if Kermit goes, yay!
Oh, what if the whole production was The Muppet Show?
That would be good.
That would be incredible.
Yeah.
But it was like, obviously they're giving out the Oscars and whatnot, but like the show is The Muppet Show.
Yeah. They have the balcony with the old guys.
And like in between, you don't get, Billie Eilish performing, No Time to Die. You get the chickens singing No Time to Die.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Make the entire thing just a really long Muppet show. I'm in. Sign me up. I would watch it.
Are you kidding me? I would fucking set my alarm for it. That'd be, man. All right.
Well, we're going to be disappointed now.
Yes, we will. Shit, do you have a cheers?
Yeah, I pulled one out of my ass. It's the only thing I got.
An ass?
Yes.
All right, well.
You want me to go?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, my cheers of the week is Wii Sports.
You really did pull that out.
I did. I say that because it's a game I miss nearly every day. Such a time and place thing. I feel bad for any kids who were too young to play it growing up or just weren't around for it. I mean, it's just one of those things that I feel hasn't been replicated yet. Everyone's talking about VR now, but that's such like a one-person experience, whereas the Wii, as in general, and specifically Wii Sports, was this group fun activity that you had those Wiimotes and the nunchucks and all that stuff that everyone can see working at the same time.
Right.
With the motion controls. I feel like the motion control of the Switch isn't quite as good, and that's why we haven't seen Switch Sports yet. But I say that because just today, Nintendo Direct, they announced Switch Sports. Let's go. Can't wait. Yeah, I'm excited for it.
Yeah, that Nintendo Direct, man, they've been... talk about nostalgia. They're bringing a bunch of shit back. They're doing a lot of...
Yeah.
Like a freaking 80 different tracks for the
like
Mario Kart.
Crazy amount, yeah.
Yeah.
Which isn't like an 8-year-old game.
Yeah.
That they're just deciding to put DLC on.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. They read my mind. I was actually online looking for like Wii Sports being sold because I still have my Wii packed up. But they're selling that for a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I will hold off until I can find, or until it's officially released, the Switch Sports and see how that goes. Because, again, I don't know if the motion controls are quite one-to-one with the Switch or with the Wii.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see. And they took away some of the games, which has me a little upset. There's no more boxing.
Oh, whack.
Yeah, there's no more what's the other one? Golf.
Come on, man. What's on there?
I think only because they're trying to push Mario Golf still. What's on there is badminton, which they just added.
Okay.
Sword fighting. They call it something else. I don't know. Bowling. Yeah, of course. Of course. What's the other one? What is the other one? I don't know, some other stuff. There's like 5 games.
Is there baseball still on there?
No.
Was baseball part of Wii Sports?
I thought so.
I know there. I can't remember if it was on the OG Wii Sports or if they did like the.
There was Resort too.
Yeah.
So
Resort, I know, had the the thing where you're on the balance beam and you got to knock the other guy off.
Yeah.
Which I've always wanted to do in real life. Never had the opportunity.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to do that, the balance beam thing, and I've always wanted to do the big thing where you sit on the thing and somebody else jumps on the thing and launches you into the air. Never got to do either one of those things.
There's still time. All right, we have volleyball, badminton, bowling. Soccer. Yeah, soccer's the new one. Soccer's the new one. Yeah.
How?
Well, they let you. I'm glad you asked. There's like a mini game in which you can put your Wii Fit thing or Switch workout thing, the strap on your leg, and actually kick the ball. There's that version. Also, the other one is I don't know. I think you like just kind of run and kick like that.
Okay.
The sword fighting, like I said before, and tennis as well. So, not quite all of the games that we know and love, but enough. You know. Mm-hmm. I just want to. I need to taste that dragon again. Mm. It's been too long. Mm-hmm. Specifically bowling. I miss bowling so much.
Yeah.
So.
What are you doing?
What's up, Bo?
What's up, bud? All right. I think he has to go outside. All right, let's knock this out. Actually, I should probably just let him pee.
Okay.
Just bam for a second.
Okay.
You can handle this, right?
Sure.
Look how much room we have back here. Come on, let's go this way.
I know, it's nice.
Come on.
It's nice.
Talk to the people.
Hello, everybody.
Come on, you can do it.
Oh.
You did it before.
Oh. There he goes. Well, everybody. I think it's really irresponsible, frankly, that Marco put me to talk to you guys when I had an entire segment really talking about how much anxiety I get talking one-on-one with people I don't really know very well. I do feel like I know you guys pretty well at this point. I'd like to know you better, so leave a comment. Let us know what you think about the show. Good or bad, honestly. Give us a like if you like it. Thumbs down if you don't. You don't have to do the thumbs down, though, frankly. You can keep that to yourself. But yeah. Here he comes. He is back.
Are you like threatening them?
Yeah. I was actually... Well, you'll find out.
My cheers of the week is going to a little known man named Adian, otherwise known as Action Bronson. This past couple of days, I've been really stressed out with Bo, not knowing what the hell's going on, and there's still a lot of mystery and still a lot of unanswered questions, and hopefully next week I can update everybody, and hopefully it's good news and everything. But in the meantime, I had to kind of just sit around with nothing but anxiety and everything has just been up in the air, not really knowing what's going on. And in those times of darkness, what do? You go back to comfort food, right? And yeah, I mean, I could watch Seinfeld on Netflix, or I could watch, Terminator 2, always a good one.
Of course. Die Hard.
Die Hard.
Yeah.
Or I could go on YouTube and fall down the rabbit hole of old Fuck That's Delicious episodes.
Yeah.
The first season, there was a moment. There was a beautiful moment in time where he was his star was rocketing, and he's putting out albums, and he starts doing this stuff on YouTube with Munchies, which is an offshoot of Vice. This was before Vice had their TV, had their channel. They just were they were like a media entity,
Right.
that had like Munchies, and then it had Noisy for music, and then Vice was like their like hard hitting news.
Yeah.
Where they're like
investigative reports.
Yeah. And Munchies was doing like really cool shit on YouTube. Like for a moment there, their channel was dope as fuck. They would do like Chef's Night Out, and they would have like how-tos, and they would always pick like your quintessential cool chefs, tattooed,
Sure.
doing like cool menu items and stuff. And Matty Matheson, you know, he blew up on Munchies also. And then they just start doing stuff with action, and it just like, obviously he gets eyes, and they're getting millions of views, and they're just like, let's do more stuff with him. So along comes Fuck That's Delicious, an actual, 20 to 30 minute show on their channel. And it's just like, it was like a perfect moment in time.
Yeah.
Everything was fun, enjoyable. His music was great. It was just this like,
It was all new.
oh yeah. And every week an episode would come out, and you're just like, this guy's like, he's living life to the fullest. He's enjoying every second of it. I mean, he's squeezing every ounce of juice out of life.
Yeah.
And so, it's fun to like, it's fun, it's nostalgic, it's kind of melancholy to look back on those old episodes before, I'm not going to say he sold out. I think he thought he was going to have a bigger and better opportunity with
Sure.
the Viceland show, and it like didn't pan out, and it kind of sucked because it feels like they got their claws into it.
Yeah.
And then apparently it didn't end well with Viceland, and I guess I shouldn't say we all know, but Viceland fucking sucked. It folded because they kept taking the cool free shit, and then they're going, oh, you like that? You like that? Now you get to pay for it. Fuck you.
Right.
And then like the original material that they didn't steal from YouTube or didn't steal from Munchies or Noisy, it sucked.
Yeah.
I was like,
it's I get why he did it. I mean, it worked for Deezus and Mero.
yes, absolutely.
They're still doing their thing
they
on
parlayed that into
on Showtime.
Great success.
Yeah. So it's a gamble, but didn't really work out for us little people.
No. But it did help the past couple of days, so I got to give a shout out to him because, they just helped me get through the past couple of days. It was a nice little crunchy comfort food.
Nice.
So there you go. Didn't, wasn't sure we'd be able to, and look where we are.
I know. We just had to try.
We just had to try.
That's all.
All right. Before we get out, you didn't even do the cold read. Do you want to do the cold read now?
I certainly do.
Let's do the cold read right now.
We've got the Rogue Brewing Batsquatch Hazy India Pale Ale, dedicated to the legend Batsquatch. The back here says, dare, risk, dream. For years, rumors have circled that deep in the woods of Mount St. Helens lives the fabled Batsquatch. While there are many tales of Batsquatch, they are all a bit hazy on the details, which makes the truth such a juicy mystery. So what better way to honor the legend than with a hazy, juicy IPA? Perfect for camping and potentially making a new friend. This one ranks high on the tropical and citrus part of the star that we have here. This pairs well with white cheddar, grilled salmon, and strawberry shortcake.
Okay.
Hashtag Batsquatch IPA.
Batsquatch.
ABV is at 6.7%. IBU is 54. What is that guy? Is that SRM or SAM? I've never seen that rating before. But
No, me neither. But that
whatever
looks
it
like
is,
an R. SRM.
SRM is a 12. Whatever that is. We'll look that up.
Well, what'd you think of the Batsquatch?
I thought it was pretty good. I honestly, I thought it could have been a bit juicier.
Juicier, yep.
So that's going to ding it a bit. But, yeah, again, I am kind of hazy IPA'd out. The only reason I got this one was because we hadn't done a Rogue in a long time. Mm-hmm. So I saw it and thought the name was cool. So,
Yeah.
but that being said...
Power of marketing.
Yeah, no, exactly. Loyalty. Mm-hmm. That being said, it was just okay for me. A little bland, a little less juicy than I wanted it to be, but still good. I give it a 4.
Yeah, I mean, is this really going to stand out from any other hazy IPA that you've had in your life? Probably not. I mean, at this point, how many of them really are? There's those special ones that you have at a bar somewhere, and it's the reason why you go to another bar and you go, do you have this one? And then I have to tell you, sorry, we don't have that. And you go,
and then you complain about it on a podcast. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
This isn't one of those IPAs.
No.
This is just one of those things where, like, you see it on there and you're like, oh, you ask the bartender, like, do you have any hazies? And they go, well, we got Batsquatch from Rogue. And you go, oh, I know Rogue. It's a good brewing company. Run that up.
Yeah.
And you have it and you're like, that was solid. This is good. But is it one of those, like, run out and grab? Nah. It's not an essential hazy IPA. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good. I mean, I'm going to give it a 3.5.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to give it 3.5. It was good. It was good. Nothing to write home about. Nothing to wake your mother up in the middle of the night and tell her, hey, I found a hazy for yous.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm tired, man.
Me too, dude.
I'm so tired.
Let's get out of here.
Oh, it's been a week.
Well, should we go then? Because, I mean, it's up to you.
I think we should.
All right, well, then let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
This has been the One Beer In podcast for myself, Marco Duco, for Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
Batsquatch.
Thank you guys for listening. Drink delicious beer and have a beautiful evening.
We love you.